I move first reading of Bill 1, the Alberta Sovereignty within a United Canada Act.
What's in a name? When it comes to a law, sometimes a lot. This one makes a quick turn from Alberta sovereignty to a united Canada. No contradiction for Alberta's premier.
Let it be clear, nothing in this bill involves separation.
Danielle Smith's signature policy pitched as a way for Alberta to stand up to Ottawa, to reject federal laws it disagrees with.
We are finally telling the federal government, no more. It's time to stand up for Alberta. Bill 1, the Alberta Sovereignty within a United Canada Act, is a first step in standing up for Albertans and pushing Ottawa back into its own lane.
If the act passes, Alberta's government will have a framework to formally push back against laws it deems as federal overreach or bad for the province. But will it have teeth?
It feels like more of a political statement than actually changing the legal landscape. This is really, we're going to be doing the same thing that we've already been doing, which is pretty aggressively bringing reference cases and seeking legal opinions.
The Act will respect Canada's courts, the Constitution, and First Nations treaties. In Ottawa, seemingly little worry about Alberta's Sovereignty Act.
Just going to stay focused on the things that matter to Albertans, whether it's affordability, whether it's creating jobs, whether it's working constructively to fight climate change and grow a better future. That's what Albertans are focused on. That's what I'm going to stay focused on.
Well, as winter settles in, that may be a good plan for Alberta's premier, too. A spring election is just months away here, and many Albertans have yet to warm to Danielle Smith.
Smith has to try to keep her leadership supporters happy on the one hand, while still appealing to mainstream Alberta voters who are suspicious of things like the Sovereignty Act.
Still, Alberta's premier says her cabinet is gearing up for a scrap, drafting special resolutions to fight federal laws as early as this spring.
Aaron, do we know which federal laws Alberta might be targeting with this legislation?
But Adrienne, it's not clear right now, but I think it's fair to say that there's a bunch of solid candidates for this. So, of course, there's Bill C-69, the so-called No More Pipelines Act. Obviously, that rankles a lot of folks out here in Alberta. That could certainly be on the list of things that Premier Smith might go after. And then there's Bill C-21, that expansion of the of Canada's gun ban. That's also obviously got some gun owners here in Alberta upset. Another possible target.
All right, Aaron Collins in Calgary. Thanks, Aaron. Okay, we need a national perspective here. So let's go to Chief Political Correspondent Rosie Barton. Rosie, what's the response in Ottawa?
Adrienne, Alberta's premier might be looking for a useful cudgel ahead of Alberta's spring election, but Ottawa really doesn't want to be a participant. You heard as much from the Prime Minister there in Aaron's piece, and that's really all you're going to hear from Ottawa for now. They say, listen, we've worked with Premier Jason Kenney on issues of concern for Albertans, and we can do it again here. So the hope for now is that any debate on the sovereignty bill remains firmly inside of Alberta.
So there has to be, though, some political risk for Ottawa to take that approach.
Yeah, you bet. Ottawa runs the risk of seeming, for instance, as though it's not hearing the concerns of Alberta, and that risk applies to other provinces pushing on issues of jurisdiction as well. Premier Scott Moe in Saskatchewan is a good example. He tabled a bill to protect its natural resources from interference from Ottawa. Quebec continues to push for more powers. And then there's the issue that's crucial everywhere and is proving difficult to solve right now, healthcare transfers and reform. And that's really where the risk is shared by all levels of government, both levels here. Canadians' patience for jurisdictional disputes is pretty limited, and healthcare is well beyond that limit.
All right, Rosie, thanks. Always great to get your insights.
Thanks, Adrienne.